Back again, finally, couple of weeks, better late than never. We're up and running. Our boy Cubs is alive. There were question marks thrown out there whether he was or not, but the boy is back and we're up and ready to go. Rogue Action style. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit the subscribe button when you can. Thumbs up, comments, all that stuff. We do check them, I promise. So definitely let us know what you guys think about what we talk about today. But Cubs, good to have you back, my friend. I hope you're all well.
You know, the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
That was close. I thought that you might have had a haircut and hadn't grown long enough yet. That's why you weren't allowed to go back on camera. I could have seen that. That makes sense.
I actually did get a haircut, just a little bit, though.
Yeah. I don't. What's hair? Anyway, hair's overrated. We move on. It's crazy stuff.
When was your last haircut?
When was my last haircut?
Was
professional
it in the 90s?
one? Or professional? Oh, dude, that's not cool.
I was probably
that's
in elementary
not cool.
school the last time you got a haircut.
That's off. Get stuffed. Don't give me that trash. Wasn't that long ago?
Okay, maybe high school.
I used to have some fantastic feathers, you mongrel. Don't worry about that. I used to go okay in the day. Mrs. H is pretty happy with it. You know, rustled the fingers through the hair back in the day. Don't you worry about that. It went well. Just I had kids and then I tore it all out. It's basically how it works.
That will do it. I get that.
It will. It will do it. Absolutely. But look, let's get down to it and let's talk about a couple of topics. We've obviously covered the really, really cool meme. It was fun. Something I knocked up. Would you place we go to? And of course, we ranked the ultimate abilities graphics wise. So we had a bit of a chat about that. But something that we haven't talked about, of course, Cubs, since last time we were on was the changes to the mods in game. Big change.
Yeah.
Have you had much of a play with it at all yet so far?
No. I have not. Even when I've, in the last couple of weeks, I've kind of been taking it easy because I had a big test to take for my therapy career. But I saw the announcement. I'm really stoked about all of the quality of life improvements they've made there. Also, at this point in the game, with how long I've been playing, I'm so burnt out of farming mods. I don't really do a ton with mods anymore. I probably should, but I just, it's hard enough to get in there and just do conquest, man.
Yeah, I hear you. It's definitely just really, really time consuming, the game at the moment. It really is. But it is what it is. Look, I like it. I mean, look, I certainly I've had a bit of a toy around with the search functions and everything like that in game. Personally, I use Hot Utils for a lot of my modding, and I mean, I'm obviously in a guild that uses Hot Utils in a lot of different ways, not just for modding. But personally, I just find that still a little bit more intuitive for the way I play the game and the way that certainly I do my my mod farming and bits and pieces. So I don't see it. I don't see it good enough to the point that it would replace people having Hot Utils at this point in time, if they're serious about the game. I still think that that's the go-to when it comes to mod farming and obviously also mod automation for your roster as well. So whilst they've done well to fix it because it was just so basic, nothing's really been done since it came out. It's great to have it, and for the free to play players, they certainly have better ways to search in it now. And really, you guys, we want to hear from you. Know what you guys think. But Hot Utils for me is still the go-to when it comes to modding at the moment.
I would say the only way that they're really good, if they want and they're serious about competing with something like Hot Utils, they're going to need to create some kind of external resource that we can use online. That's one of the biggest things about Hot Utils is you can get out of the game, you can get a keyboard and mouse and really spread things out and have it, plug into the game. I don't think that they're necessarily interested in doing that. So.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think it's just mods, they're just so technical generally that you really just need to dive deeper into it than you can just do on your phone. I feel anyway, if you're serious about it, for sure. Now, when enhancements, let's talk about the enhancements, of course. We have the new material for that. I found it. I found it good and bad. I mean, I've certainly rolled, some pretty cool mods. I had some 21 speed mods that went to 26. I've had some good speed bumps doing some of the enhancements, but I've also had, you cash in defense and you get back even worse defense. I've had that as an example, and that's pretty poor. I think that if you're doing an enhancement, I feel that it's quite discouraging considering the value of these materials to go backwards in stats. There has to be a way to make sure that you always, one way or another, at least go forward. I understand, it's a bit of an RNG lottery, and that you can't really decide on it. It's supposed to be variable, and I totally get that. I'm okay with it. But I don't think you can ever go backwards in stats. I just think that is just such a waste of resources. And considering that people are purchasing these resources as well in packs and all that sort of stuff, and I'm not talking filthy whale stuff. I'm just saying in general, even just, people just dabbling here and there.
Yeah.
These packs are 1,000, they're 1,000 crystals, to get these packs. And even then, you're still not guaranteed to get a certain amount. It's between, I think, is it 15 and 150 or something like that off the top of my head.
Yep.
So, there's certainly a lot of variability there as well. It's still an RNG fest, even, getting your resources. But it's one of those situations where it's pretty... The drop rates are trash. I'm going to say that. Like in game, of course, you can farm them in the nodes, and the drop rates are they're just really, really bad. And that needs to be addressed. If you're going to release something like this, and even at some point take the packs out if they're not already, then if you're only relying on, mod farming in nodes to get the materials you need, it's just going to take forever to do them, and people just aren't going to bother. And that's the problem. And, Cubs, tell me, am I on the right track, or do you agree or disagree?
I'm kind of neutral on most of the components of the enhancements. The only thing that I would say I emphatically agree with you on is the idea of rolling back stats. I see no reason for that. I think maybe what they're going for is just kind of like high risk, high reward. You want to roll the dice, but also when you consider how much people are investing in the resources, I don't see the point in that. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, cool. No, that's all right. That's good to hear. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think, though. We'd love to hear your opinion on the mod stats and the mod rolls and things like that. How have you worked? Have you got some really good mods? Have you made some really cool improvements? Let us know in the comments what sort of improvements you've gotten when you've enhanced them. We'd really, really love to hear your opinions with that as well. So now let's move on. Of course, we've got a brand new Galactic Legend. Isn't it funny that we're celebrating Galactic Legend releases these days, Cubs? When they first came out, it's like, what the like, it's just completely different now. We're so, I don't know, accustomed to these releases or desensitized to them. Call them whatever you want. But
definitely
these
desensitized. Yes.
Yeah, they're just so, they're just so frequent now that it's just a case of, well, here comes another one. We're at that point. But it's been all year. This is the first GL this year. Of course, we had, GLs last year. We had Lord Vader drop last year, and JMK. We had Kenobi as well. This is the first one for this year, and we're sitting right now at the end of September recording this. I'm surprised it's taken this long. I really do. But the kit looks pretty cool. There's some really, really cool stuff in it. One thing I'm thrilled about, and I was a bit worried about, and everyone said, Heinz, you're an idiot, and I'm glad I was wrong and didn't consider it. There's no Omicrons in this kit. No Omicrons needed for Jabba. That's really cool, because I would have been really, really annoyed if there was.
They seem keen on keeping those away from GLs.
Yeah, very happy with that. Keep that as the standard. Don't change that. Don't bring Omis in. They're too valuable to be, we know how many Zetas and everything we need. If we go down the track of using Omicrons in replacement of that, there's going to be really, really angry people. So I'm happy about that. But of course, new Jabba, you can only use him in the leader slot. You can't put him anywhere else. He only fits in the leader slot, whereas other GLs, you can drop them in, anywhere in the board. But because just due to the sheer size of him in game,
they're like, he can only fit right here. And that's it. That's it. So they've just gone, you know what? We're just going to pop him in the leader slot. He's going to stay there. You can't use any summons. So you can't bring in, like if you've got, Geo Brute Alpha, you can't call the Brute. Yep. That doesn't happen. No summons in there. So really, really interesting. I mean, don't know if you call it GBA anyway, but you get the point. You can't use that type of character in there with a summon ability, because it's just not going to do anything. So no point in that. But they made a big point of him being vulnerable to AoE attacks, which is really interesting in the kit. First time I've really seen them really highlight some sort of an exploit, if there is one, in a character or a kit. Normally they just don't go near that, but they made a point that look, AoEs will do some damage, when he gets his abilities up and running. So I found that a little bit interesting. So it'll be fun to see what people are going to be able to do with that, Cubs. Yeah, anytime you see something like that, that to me reeks of balance issues. Like if they need to build a vulnerability into his kit, that means, in my mind at least, he's probably in testing very, very powerful. And they're thinking, all right, so we need to figure out ways to beat him. And to beat him, we're going to have to actually build a vulnerability into the kit itself so that it's more possible to handle. And so that actually, seeing something like that actually gets me excited because it makes me think that he's going to be pretty OP.
Yeah. And he should be, like any GL. They should be up and about. They should be hard to beat unless you use a GL. That's what they designed them for. They took away the non-GL counters, but it's a whole different conversation. Let's leave that one alone today. Hide muscle. You gain hide muscle as the main ability, of course. It gives you tenacity up, immune to daze and fear, which is pretty cool. So, you're certainly not going to be affected by that. But the beauty of it, you get your blind. You can inflict blind and protection up on the basic, which is going to be pretty cool as well. So you won't be able to hit anyone for a bit. Yeah. So that'll be pretty cool. But you're going to be dropping thermals like crazy. Now, I love my Jabba'S. You know this. We've talked about this before. I'm a big fan of the Utinis, right? Our boy, in memory, of course, of our boy Urs, I've got to say, Utini! You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I love my Jabba'S. Yeah. I've got them all decked out. I've got a Relic 9 Chief Nabbit. I'm loving thermals just going pop, 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 and things just disappearing. I want to see that in this kit. That's what I want to see. I just want to see stuff blowing up.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm looking forward to. So guys, I can't wait for that. I'm a bit excited about that, and of course, we mentioned in your video as well when we were talking about the graphics. Yeah, and a Rancor ultimate ability, pretty damn cool. Like that's just going to be. I can't wait to hit the go button and just go goodbye. It'll be great. Definitely one of the best graphics as well in the game, as we discussed as well, Cubs. Pretty thrilled with that.
And as cool as the Rancor graphic is, it really kind of pales in comparison to Crumb. Just saying.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Are you happy with the kit? Have you had a bit of a deep dive into it yet? Have you had a bit of a look? Is this something that you're going to be going for in time, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I've read through the kit once, so I would not call that a deep dive. There's a lot of things that caught my eye. In particular, I noticed the vulnerabilities like you did. I love the thermal detonators. I think that makes sense, and just a lot of utility. A lot of the Hut Cartel. I think is going to be really fun to see in action with Jabba, and then also just really happy about the ultimate ability. I couldn't speak enough to that. I'm going to be going for this, but after I get the profundity, I have to go for profundity first.
Yes. No, that makes perfect sense. Ships first, mate. They're a killer. You need them up and about. But it's definitely one. Would you prioritize Jabba over the other GLs out there? Is this something that you go, this is more of a luxury GL if there is such a thing, or would you be going, no, look, guys, switch your farming focus to this bad boy? Like, what would you think?
Luxury GL until we have a definitive conquest counterpart like Lord Vader and Kenobi have. I think this is going to be a luxury GL. I have a feeling the next conquest is probably going to come out with Bib Fortuna, though.
Yeah, have to be a lifter unit. Bib Fortuna is certainly the front runner you would expect. I really can't think of anyone else that you would put in.
It's got to be Bib
as an option. There's no one else that would make sense. Yeah. So hopefully Bib's on the horizon, and we'll be farming him after Ben Swallow's done. It's crazy. My my community are killing me right now, Cubs. I'm telling you, we've got a sub goal in place right now. That basically means that if we achieve the sub goal, I have to Relic 9 my Ugnaught. Now, the only problem with that is that apparently my community is looking at timing that around the release of Ben Swallow, so I have to use all my resources on Ugnaught instead of Ben Swallow. Not thrilled about that, but they're looking like having some fun in the coming weeks with that one.
You've done that to yourself.
Yes, fact. Yeah, I brought it upon myself. You did that yourself, Anakin. There's no one else to blame, but it's crazy stuff. But it's been a heck of a lot of fun. But is there anything else that I've missed that we want to cover, Cubs? I think there's, we really haven't had a crazy amount of news drop this week or last week we had the mod stuff drop, and obviously Jabba. I think we're going to get. A Piggy rework. I think that Mob Enforcer is going to get some more love as well.
Yep.
Has already. So I think that there's going to be Omicrons coming for those characters. I think that they're just going to really make Jabba up and running. We're going to get a lifter, as you said as well. There's still so much more coming yet for the Hutt Cartel, I feel, anyway.
Yes.
So I think that it's exciting times for a new faction coming through, and honestly, it's nice to be talking about something other than Inquisitors for a little bit, to be honest. So
totally agree. All right, hit me with that viewer's choice question, man.
Viewer's choice question, of course. What
My
was I thinking?
body is ready.
I'm rusty here, Cubs. All right, really cool viewer's choice question, of course. See, I mean, this is what happens when you turn up, you blindside me, and I can't concentrate on my list. That's what it is.
You're good.
Guys, get into the Discord server, of course. Got a channel in there, Rogue Actions Questions. We get questions every single week from there. Really, really interesting one. And this one concerns guilds, actually, which is pretty cool. Solo Straight is the person giving us the question. Thank you, Solo, for the question this week. Really, really appreciate it. The question is this, Cubs. With a new TB coming on the horizon, will there be a guild purge at the top end mandating members to farm both Jabba and Inquisitors?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's just going to be a given. Especially with that new TB. Obviously, Inquisitors are going to be very important to that. I actually reached out. I've been in a kind of a vacation guild for a while now, and once the new TB hits, I'm going to want to hopefully go back to the guild I was in before. And the first thing they told me is, yeah, we'd love to have you back, but you got to work on those Inquisitors, Cubs.
Yeah.
And that's not like that's not top echelon. It's a committed guild, but it's no like top.
That's
50
sort of, if there is like a mid-range sort of, sort of a very active guild would be the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Inquisitors are going to be very important.
100%, absolutely. As far as the purge, I don't think there's going to be a purge as such. Like, it's not going to be, okay, you don't have it, so you can f off. What it's going to be is that it'll change the direction when it comes to recruiting new members in and out of guilds. I think that's what I think we'll see more.
Well, and you'll see a lot of guilds tell people like, hey, if you're not willing to work on this, you may need to find a new home too.
Yeah, but there's not many of those. Like, right. I mean, there's
most people are just going to do
I would say maybe there's sort of 3 in the game that would sort of force mandatory farm. Okay, you need this, and this, and if you don't, that's fine, but you're not going to stay here. We'll find you a new home. So that there's only very, very minute amount of guilds that are like that, in my opinion, from what I know anyway. But I think it's going to be a case of if you've got A or B recruit as an option, one has Jabba and Inquisitors, one does not, you're going to go the guy with Jabba and the Inquisitors because they're going to help enhance your guild, get better rewards, get further into this new TB. It's just going to make a heck of a lot of sense. So, yes, you will get that standard dynamic sort of shift within guilds, yes. It's not going to be, throw the baby out with the bathwater, though. It's going to be generally a progression system because, honestly, the guild that I'm in, for instance, it's just such a good group of people that I want to keep them together because, we just enjoy playing the game together anyway. And one thing that's been lacking for a while, Cubs, and I don't know if you agree or not, but I think that, some of the best times I've had in this game was when raids came out, for instance, where everyone's trying to work it all out together.
100%.
Stuff like that. Yeah. And I think we've been starved for guild unity type events for a long, long time now. So that's something that I think that we're absolutely craving. So the sooner that we can dive into that, I think the better. That's certainly going to help bring some positivity back in the game and get some interaction with the players again. I think that would certainly help a lot because really the only way that is done is in territory war, and not a lot of people love territory war. There's no other option. So interesting to see how that all plays out. So, all good. So, let us know in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know what you think with your guilds. Are you struggling with players at the moment? I know that a lot of them are. There's certainly a lot of turnover. So, let us know what the landscape's like out there, guys. I'd love to hear your opinion, of course, as well. Cubs, looking forward to maybe catching up with you next week, maybe the week after, maybe the week after that. I'm kidding.
Who knows? We'll see.
We'll be back on again next week. Thanks very much for joining us as well this week, mate. We missed you. It's good to be back. Ready to rock and roll.
Good to be here. All right. See you guys.
Take care. Bye. Mwah.